You ever get the feeling that the universe is playing some long, complicated joke on you and you're not in on the punchline until it's way too late? Yeah, that's how my story starts. It's not your usual rags to riches drama, more like rags to realization, with a few miracles in between. Picture this: two kids, twins, growing up with nothing but their mother's stubborn heart and the echo of a name they never learned to say out loud. Let me back up a sec. It all started in the shimmering, cutthroat world of Manhattan finance, where a girl named Maya Rodriguez was just trying to keep her head above water. Every morning, she'd stare herself down in the bathroom mirror at Pearson Holloway, straightening her blouse, rehearsing her greeting in perfect, accentless English. "Good morning. Welcome to Pearson Holloway." She rolled the R just a bit too much, cursed under her breath, and tried again. She was the youngest receptionist, the only Latina, the only one working her way through design school by night and pretending she fit in by day. She hated hiding who she was, but the paycheck kept her dream alive. Her sketchbooks, stashed away under a mattress in a Brooklyn shoebox apartment, full of color and space and hope. For months, her world was measured in bus tokens and quiet resilience, until the day a man in a charcoal suit stepped out of the elevator and changed everything. Alexander Bennett, there to the Bennett legacy, with eyes the color of glacial ice and a smile that could freeze or melt you, depending on the day, stopped in front of her desk, and for 3 seconds, Maya forgot every line she'd practiced. That look, it was the start of something, she just didn't know what. 2 days later, he accidentally dropped a stack of documents at her feet. They laughed, fingers brushed, electricity crackled, and within a week, Alexander asked her to dinner at a place where the prices weren't listed and everyone else looked like they belonged on magazine covers. Maya fumbled with the silverware and blushed at the way the staff treated Alexander like royalty, but he watched her, genuinely curious, drawn in by something real. "What brings Maya Rodriguez to the fortress of capitalism?" he teased. "Tuition," she answered, smiling. "Interior design school isn't cheap." That was all it took. Soon, she was living in two worlds. One of five-star rooftop bars and Hamptons weekends. The other, nights spent sharing mofongo in her aunt's tiny Brooklyn kitchen, salsa music blaring, family crammed shoulder to shoulder. Alexander tried, but he never quite fit in on her turf, just as she'd never fit in on his. There were cracks from the stark little comments from his friends, worried glances from his mother when he ignored her calls. But love makes you reckless. So when she missed her period, Maya's first thought was of hope, not fear. Alexander had just told her he loved her, whispering promises in the darkness of her apartment, and she believed him. She made cinnamon rolls that Sunday morning, tucked a daisy in a vase, and waited for the right moment to share the news. But he was late. Family breakfast ran long. By the time he arrived, tired and distracted, the mood had shifted. "I'm pregnant," she said finally, holding out the test like an olive branch and a life raft all at once. The look on his face: shock, horror, calculation was a punch to the gut. "You have any idea what this means for my career?" he said, and the words kept coming, sharper and colder, until the man she loved was just another stranger reminding her of where she came from. "Be sensible," he told her, pushing an envelope full of money across a cafe table. "This is for you to take care of the problem." She tore the check into pieces, stood up, and walked out, every step heavier than the last. You know what I mean when I say the world doesn't stop for heartbreak? Maya lost her job within days. Emotional instability, HR said, parroting lines Alexander had whispered behind closed doors. The rent came due. Then a doctor's visit brought news that should have been joint wins. Two perfect heartbeats, but Maya felt only the weight of the impossible. Eviction. Homelessness. Carmen, her neighbor, took her in, gave her a bed, held her when she cried. Maya worked day shifts at a clinic, nights at a diner, designing for pennies whenever she could. When the twins arrived, Ethan and Emma, both with Alexander's piercing blue eyes and her dark curls, she swore to them, right there in that hospital room, that they would never need to know the shame of being unwanted. Years blurred. Maya learned to survive on less than nothing. She taught herself digital design on salvaged laptops, nursed babies while cleaning offices, and never let the twins see her break. She watched them grow into small wonders. Ethan, with a mind like a camera, Emma, quiet and clever, both hungry for knowledge and full of questions about the world. There were nights they slept on church basement floors, mornings spent ironing school uniforms in bathroom sinks. Afternoons, Maya juggled 3 jobs to pay for formula and rent. She took pride in her children's success. Their teachers noticed, their test scores soared. Still, she wondered if it was enough. And then came the break she never saw coming. One night, cleaning an ad agency, she projected her portfolio on a conference room wall just to see it big and real, and got caught by the agency's founder, Jessica Winters. Instead of firing her, Jessica saw talent. "We need people like you," she said. "Can you start Monday?" Everything changed. Maya became a junior designer. Her kids had a real home, a future. Success didn't come fast or easy, but it came magazine features, her own line, Rodriguez Designs. For the first time, she felt possibility. And just as she found peace, fate threw a curveball. A Sunday in Central Park, Maya, working on sketches while the twins played, brought Alexander Bennett, now a CEO, face-to-face with the children he'd denied. He recognized them instantly, the eyes, the age, the undeniable truth. When Maya saw him, 9 years of pain and grit collided in a single, silent look. "Can we talk?" he pleaded. "6 years too late," she replied, and walked away. But you know how unfinished business has a way of dragging you back. Alexander tried to insert himself into their lives, money, gifts, even lawyers. When Maya refused, his mother, Eleanor Bennett, summoned her to the mansion, waving an envelope of hush money. "Everyone has a price," Eleanor said, cold as marble. Maya smiled. "Not me." That day, in front of the twins, Eleanor forced Alexander to choose his inheritance or his children. And for the first time, Maya saw something shift in him, put his family's heirloom watch on the table, and chose his kids, renouncing everything he'd once worshipped. Maya left that mansion with her head held high, the twins gripping her hands, knowing she'd won a war she never meant to fight. A year passed. Alexander, stripped of title and wealth, became a father not by blood, but by effort. Maya and Alexander never reconciled, but they co-parented with a respect born of hard lessons. Maya's business flourished. Rodriguez Designs grew into a force, eventually landing a contract to renovate Eleanor Bennett's Manziona poetic twist, if there ever was one. The twins thrived, winning science fairs and scholarships, carrying their mother's resilience and their father's brilliance. When they asked why their dad hadn't been around, Maya told the truth, gentle but firm. "Some people can't see what matters until it's almost too late. And that's life, isn't it? You fight like hell, take the hits, and sometimes you get to write your own ending." I built my family out of stubbornness and love, and when the world tried to break us, we made something unbreakable. Now, if you made it this far, I want to hear from you. Was Maya right to walk away? Can someone ever really make up for the past? What would you do if you were in her shoes or Alexander's? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Justice, forgiveness, or something in between. I'm dying to know. And hey, if you want more stories like this, stick around, click on the next video. Trust me, you won't want to miss what happens next.